Is it a long last at first on the breakfast? We have a guest, such a fantastic guest. I can't even describe to you, but you see in a second. Boy, this is a guest who has tackled troubling trousers. This is a guest that has everything. But first, let's hear what we have today in the video. It's all about post-punk in the UK, 80s bands, TV pop shows, new wave, and one iconic pop journalist and hostess, me, Paula Yates. What is post-punk music? Post-punk music is an offshoot of punk rock that embraces greater ambitions in terms of harmony, melody, rhythm, and lyrical content, while retaining punk energy and urgency. Post-punk musicians departed from punk's traditional elements and raw simplicity, instead adopting a broader, more experimental approach that encompassed a variety of avant-garde sensibility and non-rock influences. Inspired by punk's energy determined to break from rock cliches, artists experimented with styles like funk, electronic music, jazz, and dance music. The production's techniques of dub and discos, and ideas from art and politics, including critical theory, modernized art, cinema, and literature. These communities produced independent record labels, visual arts, multimedia, performances, and fanzines. Post-punk bands like Joy Division, Bauhaus, Cure, Echo and the Bunnymen, The Smiths, Susie and the Banshees, Killing Joke, The Jam, Cocteau Twins, and the list can go on and on and on. The post-punk movement closely overlaps with new wave music, while the new wave genre is more synthesized and closely linked to popular bands like Human League, Blancmange, New Order, Depeche Mode, and so many great bands. It shared many musicians with the post-punk scene. For instance, Joy Division is often referred to as post-punk, but following the death of the singer Ian Curtis, the remaining musicians carried on as New Order, which is widely considered a new wave group due to the close relationship between genre. Post-punk is sometimes referred to as no-wave music. A short history of post-punk. The post-punk scene arose from punk rock. Many post-punk musicians grew up as fans of bands like the Sex Pistols, the Ramones, New York Dolls, and Minor Threat. In some cases, they were actually members of these bands, such as Public Image Limited frontman John Lydon, who is perhaps better known as Johnny Rotten of the Sex Pistols. Post-punk music spread throughout the English-speaking world between the late 70s and the mid-90s. Major cities included New York, Washington, Boston, Chicago, Sydney, Australia, and the English cities of London, Manchester, Birmingham, and Leeds. Post-punk groups modernized for the 1980s, incorporating new technology, atmospheric layering, and pop hooks. Such groups included synth pop acts like Duran Duran, Depeche Mode, and New Order, Kissing the Pink, Talk Talk, Human League, Eurythmics, Yazoo, and so many great bands that officially became new wave by definition. Another branch of post-punk made rhythm a core part of their identity. Bands influenced by dub, ska, and reggae included The Police, The Beat, UB40, Bad Manners, Madness, The Specials, and Funboy 3. Now let us not forget the magnificent Irish and Scottish bands that lifted the roof of finding their own voice and sound with strong political and social statements in their writing lyrics. I'm talking about U2, of course, Simple Minds, Waterboys, and of course Sinead O'Connor, God bless her soul, a unique example of great talent, a charismatic soul who wasn't afraid to speak her truth, so inspiring. She will be missed and remembered. as Joan of Arc in her attitude towards the music industry and her fight against the Catholic Church and for women's rights. Characteristics. Post-punk was described as a fusion of art and music. The era saw the robust appropriation of ideas from literature, art, cinema, philosophy, politics, and critical theory into musical and pop cultural context. Artists desired to refuse the common distinction between high and low culture and return to the art school tradition found in the work of artists such as Roxy Music and David Bowie, my personal idol. And I bet 90% of the new wave and punk rock musicians then and now who were influenced by Bowie. Speaking of Bowie, he set an example for so many post-punk bands which started and flourished in the early 80s in Britain through experimental music with art adopting an avant-garde attitude to music, looks, and theatrical performances. Bands like Bauhaus, Dali Scott, The Mission, Susie and the Banshees with their gothic looks, and by the way, thanks to Mick Kahn's bass guitar trademark style and sound, you could identify immediately Bauhaus, Dali Scott in Japan. Gary Newman with his unique voice and style, Adam and the Ants, the band that brought a taste of rock and alternative with the post-punk, with the pirate looks and percussion sounds, and one special guy called Marco Pirroni. Post-punk and new wave bands started to spread all over Britain and, as I said, all over the English-speaking countries. But wonderful things started to happen in Germany and France as well, like the Rita Mitsuko, of course. Additionally, in some locations, the creation of post-punk music was closely linked to the development of a vicious subculture which played important role in the production of art, multimedia, performances, fanzines, and independent labels related to the music. Post-punk received steady praise from music critics. Outlets supported post-punk records. Journalists also became an important element of the culture. And popular music magazines and cities became immersed in the movement. One of them was Paula Yates. Well, I think in 1979 I began my career as music journalist with a column called Natural Blonde in the Record Mirror. And shortly after that I posed for Penthouse magazine in the 1980s when I joined the Tube as a co-host. One thing led to another, and there was with my friend Jennifer Saunders in 1987 filming a new documentary on the pop group Bananarama. And of course, my big breakthrough was on The Big Breakfast, produced by my husband at that time, Bob Geldof. My speciality was asking questions I felt people really ought to know and really wanted the answers. When I asked Kylie Minogue, is it true you had an affair with Prince? Or when I persuaded Sting to take his trousers off live on air. That was hilarious. But everything changed when I just met Michael Hutchence. I will be remembered as someone popular not only for all the media attention I gained, but I reckon most of my real relationship with Bob Geldof and Michael Hutchence. Today we have Spandau Ballet with Gold, we have Blancmange with Living on the Ceiling, and girls, Duran Duran is in the house with a new album, Rio, it will be hot. Bananarama is with Shoot Aha, and Kajagoogoo
is here and Frankie Goes to Hollywood with many, many more surprises. But first, take this quiz. Can you name the words missing from these British new wave post-punk bands' names?
After you finish, you can look up for the answers in the description box. Okay? Are you ready? Let's start. Number 1, Camera. Number 2, Susie and the. Number 3, Soft. Number 4, and the Bunnymen. Number 5, Mod. Number 6, Psychedelic. Number 7, of 4. Number 8, The League. Number 9, Public Limited. Number 10, Division. Number 11, Joke. Number 12, Love and. Number 13, For Fears. Number 14, Vox. Number 15, Cabaret. Number 16, A Flock of.
That's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to let me know how many names of bands you came up with and which band is your favorite, okay? And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.